Now, there is the other screaming thing that we should probably mention, which is that silhouette.
Right, okay, yes. Here we go. All they wanted was our world. With this, the Harbinger will pry it from their grasp. Who's the Harbinger? But anyway, when the Titans come to reclaim their prize, which implies that he knows that's going to happen because he dealt with infinites and he's dealing with the void, so clearly he has foresight, he has knowledge that we don't have. Gonna come back. I will be waiting. He'll be waiting. Interesting. That's a fun shadow.
Yeah.
Is a night elf standing weirdly around the camera? Or is this someone else?
Is it the extremely obvious
Yeah.
Xalatath?
It's exceedingly obvious that this is Xalatath. Like, there's no two ways about it. There's no two ways. But the prize is Azeroth's soul, right? Correct. Spot on. You get the prize. A different prize. You don't get Azeroth's soul. You're not allowed that. So this is clearly Xalatath being the Harbinger. Like, 100% easy. There's a potential it's a Shara. And there is... I'll actually grab a picture because it could be a Shara. Let me just see if I can grab... There's a picture of her, because you see the way like the long hair is there? And it looks clearly like Xalatath. It could very easily be... Man, this is some good ass Shara. One moment. Yeah, it could be a Shara because it's definitely like them to go, what if it's not what you think it is? What if we set it up, but it's different? But it's actually not. For a reason I will explain very shortly after I show. Just for like argument's sake. For argument's sake, that silhouette also kind of matches. If this doesn't know what I'm going to scream.
There we go.
Yeah.
It is. Oh, shit.
So, shoulders, elven form, and she likes taking this elven form a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
She's got the same straight hair, not the same orientation, but you could kind of like look at that from the angle. Could very easily be either of them. Because they're both elves. Very smart. But it's not her.
Never mind.
Yeah, it's not her because... I mean, it could be, but if you talk with the Harbinger and then they show this, storytelling 101 is that's the Harbinger. Like,
yeah,
it almost has to be. And then we go to assume it's Xalatath. Why is it Xalatath? Because this is a book about Ashar. This is a book about Ashar coming back. Rise, rise, our queen comes. She calls to us from beyond the Umbral Veil. Even now, the Harbinger gathers the children of the first flesh. Harbinger and the queen, not the same. Therefore, it's Xalatath. There you go. Problem solved. It's definitely Xalatath. Or another third party, and Xalatath is like a middleman or a broker between the two, but I don't imagine that actually. I really don't imagine that. Because that would be kind of shit, I think, in a bunch of ways. But yeah, so the Harbinger's coming for the soul of Azeroth, and she's going to use this, or they're going to use this ancient dragon soul thing, which absorbed the life out of absorbed the blue-black magic stuff, which was the hunger of Verticron, which was the like absolute how to describe it? The endless hunger that was clearly like an allegory to the void itself and how the void works. Which is weird because it kind of also sounds a little bit like the Devourers, but let's not think about that at all. It's not what is to come. What is to come is my rogue. Yeah. It's
definitely no.
Yes.
Yeah, so big void shit's coming.
Yeah, basically, big void shit's coming.
Because
we have to talk about the Song of the Depths and what it means. Because obviously we're all this stuff and she's been involved with us. She goes through the same portal because that's like, I mean, it's the same portal. It's just an upgraded version of the portal because we've got better stuff now. So she does this. The Song of the Depths goes into about stuff. And here's the important part here, right? Where the Harbinger speaks of a primal power that seeks the end of order. Such rage can be bent to serve our ends. Primal power seeks the end of order. That's a Ritcron and or the endless hunger. Such rage sounds like him. He's not angry. He's quietly angry, which is a way more dangerous form of anger in most cases. He is very hunger lost to the age to be reclaimed. Go back in time. The hunger that was in Galakron that was left there. Sweet, it was sucked out. So it wasn't lost to ages now. A dark heart left broken awaits the taking. What's the dark heart? Probably Azeroth. Could be anything if they decide to.
Yeah.
But it's probably
probably
Azeroth because that's what's been taken. And obviously Heart of Azeroth. It's clearly going to be one of those things. And then when these things come to pass, the Harbinger will fill the final prophecy and complete the awakening. Only then shall our queen return to reign over science, gain earth. which is the final prophecy, Azeroth likely awakening. Because that's the only thing it could really reasonably be. Unless it's something else.
I mean, surely the awakening can't actually happen. Because that feels like...
It can and can't, but yeah.
Well, I suppose there is another game that has mother crystals in it that did have the big thing. But
yeah,
you know what I mean? Where there's always a risk of like, okay, now you've just turned the planet into a lady and they've killed something. You've jumped the shark. I'm not saying that it would be jumping the shark if they did that, but you know what I mean? It's like, how far do we accelerate this?
There's a way to do it, but it's extremely challenging, as evidenced by, like, because there's the exact thought just in chat. The awakening will start WoW 2, ending WoW. WoW 2 is not real. WoW 2 will probably never be real.
Yeah.
Because that's extremely insane to do that. You would lose most of your players.
Just have to hire another 700 World of Warcraft developers.
Yeah. You would lose most of your players, and there's no way around that. It's disgusting. But then the awakening could be a literal or metaphorical. It could be Azeroth's awake now, and now we move on to the next leg of story.
Mm-hmm.
And we find a way to write our plot that Azeroth can't solve all our problems. Maybe she has to go and do something in the cosmos that's very important after she wakes up and stuff. I don't think they have the guts to do that because it's extremely challenging. And whenever any other video game has done the same, it's been really close to being a nightmare, but pulled off or just completely destroyed. Like, people are so terrified of Destiny 2, the final shape.
Oh god,
and that's the part where Destiny,
recorded a video on that earlier today. They are so spooked. Now, that being said, they are so spooked because Destiny 2 Lightfall seems to have been one of the biggest own goals in gaming.
Yeah, for sure.
It's quite an achievement, I will say. I think the only way they can do this is, yes, they slurp Azeroth into an essence that's not a full Titan-sized thing. And they have the big culmination. Yes, I would phrase it as the culmination of the cosmic arc. Yeah. Where, the big bash would happen. You would tie this into Velen's original vision, right? Velen's vision of basically the final battle at the end of days, right? Sorry, Tolkien brainworms. Is it Dagobah? Irrelevant. No one knows the shit. It's fine. Whatever. You basically have the final battle, right? The absolute crazy ending that leads to a very natural reset. You can tell even in FF14, they've, it's like the Heidel and Zodiac thing is over now. It's done. Yeah, and they're trying to set up the new thing, and even that for them has been a bit of a tricky thing.
It's been really challenging, and it's definitely like people are going, where my investment in the story is gone because it's over now, and they have to slowly build it up again, and they will slowly build it up again. But that's the challenging part of, you have to start fresh, and you have to be able to start fresh, and you need a player base who are happy to start fresh.
And they're still doing that with like Alphino and Alzay and all those characters that people know and love.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're doing it even with characters that people know and love, and they're still finding it hard, that's saying something.
Yeah, it sure is, because it's the problem of like accelerating stakes, and you go up and up and up, and then you go down again. You're like, but where's the pacing?
It's like,
and obviously
you've accelerated stakes and followed it up with a Beyond Meat burger. I'm sad.
Yeah, that's kind of the really like awkward stuff where it's just hard to do. So I don't know how they'll do it, but they are clearly pushing it that way. In that Eridicron said the Titans are coming back, and said the Harbinger is going to wake Azeroth up in the final prophecy, the final awakening. So there's any number of ways we could actually solve this or like figure it out, and there's a billion ways, but I literally am not ready to even begin speculating on any of this, to be honest, because it's so far away and I don't know what to think about it. So it is like, the only thing we can think is the Dark Heart stuff. So much of BFA was establishing that she may have been exposed to the old gods for longer and more closely than we think.
Yeah.
Because we go into the heart of Azeroth, the heart chamber, and we literally hear like old god stuff. We're like, hang on a second, what's this? How close were you? How long were you here? Especially because they were buried there, and we don't know how long the old gods were actually like. We have no frame of reference for how long the Black Empire was on Azeroth. All we know, it was a duration of time that was long enough to build the Black Empire and then have a war with all the elementals. And that could be longer than the Titans have had access to her and built all the machinery in her and stuff like that. Because you imagine the heart chamber was built as opposed to naturally occurring. Because the point they're going to bring is the world soul is not by default a Titan. The world soul is something else that can be ordered and shipped.
That's what I think it's going to be. Yeah, I think the world the world soul is like, you know, to misuse Final Fantasy terms in a really slapdash way, the world soul is like a etheric density, or you know, it's like the raw stuff of life. In the same way that, you know...
It's not, because it's actually a soul.
No, I know it is a soul, but I'm wondering if that soul is like a natural emerging property in the way of, you know, you leave hydrogen out for long enough and it turns into people. It's a bit weird. Not really, but like, you know the way it's like...
No, I don't...
Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Take like your space dust and shit. You know? Space dust, you think it's just dust. No, it's not. Space dust, eventually gravity happens. Star happens. Areas of star formation. Planets form out of that, and you're like, oh my god, look at all this shit. The star forges all these things together, and you know, the supernovas happen, they blast all the heavy elements out, and you know, eventually you and me are here. I wonder if, you know, the very beginning, the sort of big bang of the universe, it's like, it just kind of deposited all these things.
Yeah, well, Donuts actually puts it well, saying, oh boy, debate the origin of consciousness. That's really quite the thing where I think that the way this is all written is Azeroth is a consciousness that's ready to be shaped, in the sense that the same, like, it's literally thematically relevant with the way Alexstrasza talked about eggs, with the infusing the like ruby life fools with order through the halls of infusion to kind of go, okay, here's order. These babies will be more susceptible to what we tell them because we've fed them this special water. That's literally what happened. If you disagree with my wording, it's fucking literal. I don't give a shit if they say it's like fluoride, it's good. It's still fundamentally, we've fed them this water so they'll be more pliable. Like, why are you trying to...
It's the ultimate subversion. They're putting frickin' chemicals in the water that are turning the frogs. Ordered.
Yeah, why are you sat here going, why are you making an anti-vaxxer story, Blizzard? Did you realize you're doing that? Because that's kind of what you're doing. Especially with the whole Veranoth and Alexstrasza conversation, which if you haven't seen, they have a beautiful conversation together, and they point to some experimentation happening to eggs in the past. It was horrible. So it's like, that's clearly the point, where the point is clearly the Titans are vaccinating Azeroth and no one likes this. Which is, I'm saying that to be funny. It's not a statement in any capacity. It's literally just, I saw the parallels and laughed because they would not be happy that they're doing that, and it's not their intent at all, but some people could read it that way.
It's like alarms went off in the Blizzard. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. So clearly the parallels are, that's what they're doing to Azeroth. Azeroth is a being of free will and consciousness by default, and that is being taken from her to turn her into a Titan. Which is framed as a good thing because being a Titan's cool and all. But only the Titans, because this is good, but you don't have freedom. It's good, but you're not free.
The Incarnates are right, but the people who we're allied with made them into bad guys because they basically tortured them in a stasis prison for a long time. So essentially, World of Warcraft characters are Guantanamo Bay prison guards.
Close enough to it, yeah. There's a lot of...
Heroism! Fight for the future! Off the Gitmo, let's go!
I will not apologize to the narrative designers for telling them what their story's about.
That's the problem. I think they've just realized. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, World of Warcraft has inadvertently become the biggest, like, neoliberal story.
It's great. I love it. It's so good. Just
really funny.
Yeah. Authoritarian, bad. What about freedom? Also, terrorism works. Terrorism works, and don't pump stuff into babies that we don't want. Spot on.
Fantastic. Yeah.
It'd be really funny if this was all intentional, and then, you know, someone watches this and then fires the narrative design staff for doing this. But no,
I would
that'd
like
be really
50
funny.
Mossad agents just fucking zoop through the window and kill us both. Which would be pretty metal if it did happen.
Yeah, I'll try to make sure the camera gets both of them. So
isn't the Mossad the subreddit that's like the joke one? Of just like, this thing happened, it was the Mossad. I think that's the joke subreddit. Maybe it's joke Twitter. I forget.